Friends, welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the Brofix one, AJ. What an epic weekend of games. All the boys all and showed everyone what they're about in this league. And to the Week 5 power rankings, we got to talk about the key whip snakes. These two teams seem to just have a play. Whip snake do come out on top 12-11. And we're back apparently. I do not know what happened. I do not know if we're still alive, but I'm going to keep recording like we're still alive. Going back to the scores from last week, Chaos didn't really stand a chance. They continue their slide after all of the help from the MLL and the NLL and those players coming back. Yeah, the Water Dogs just had their number this week. Cannons and the Chrome taking it to overtime in a very exciting matchup. Cannons really looked like they were back on the money, but you know, here we are with the Chrome still coming out with a victory even in overtime. Then we lead to the last game of the weekend, Archers versus the Atlas. These two mid-tier teams, they've been fighting it out for that 3 and 4 spot. The Atlas do come out with this one 10-9. Yeah, I mean, it was a great weekend of games. Great weekend to be a PLL fan. And I mean, honest to God, shitty week of betting. I took a lot of spreads minus the 1.5 that did not pay off, but that's something that we'll need to take into account next time. Some of these teams can't cover, and that is one of the big things we'll talk about. Now, let's get into what you're here for. Let's get into the Week 5 power rankings. Starting it off. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. Starting it off at number 8, we got the Chaos coming in dead last from champs to chumps. Absolutely shitting the bed every opportunity they get. I am not placing another wager on them. I will not lose money on them one more time. I wish they would play better. I mean, they play exciting lacrosse. They just can't seem to figure it out on defense or offense whatsoever, not really being able to set a rhythm and flow. And we'll see if that does change towards the end of the season when we get a couple more games on our belt. We are only in week 5. We are still very early in the summer, but the Chaos not coming out in the beginning of the season how I wanted them to, or how anyone wanted them to. That leads to the Water Dogs next. I really can't get a good pulse on this team. One week they seem like they're doing good. I mean, they were up to number 5 last week. They were very competitive, but they just kind of lost it this weekend. They've been hovering around the bottom here, 7-5, not really making anyone any which way, but they're still there. They're still in the fight. The games are close. I will give them that, but just not enough to get them out of that 7th spot. Next, we go to the Redwoods. I mean, the Redwoods, they're in this spot because they put up a hell of a game against the Whip Snakes. I wanted to put them higher. The other teams were just a little bit more discerning, a little bit more worrisome. They are 1-4 still. I'm sorry, this week with this week's loss. And I'm okay with that if I'm a Redwoods fan. I'm okay with that. They're a competitive squad. They just got to figure out what that missing piece is in order to continue it, to keep it moving. Let's talk about missing pieces, though, as the Cannons here at number 5. They played well this week. Lyle Thompson really being able to keep that squad in there, but they have been starting to get involved more. They've been starting to move the ball around a little bit more, creating the shots on the offensive side and really sticking to it on defense. The goaltending I wish could be a little bit better, but hey, it's a rough sport to goaltend in. I'm excited for the Cannons. I think they'll make a nice late season push. Hopefully, just right now they seem to be finding their footing, even though they kind of had it last season. It's a hard one. It's a hard one to watch. Number 4, we got the Archers. Arrows keep flying, but could not beat the Atlas this week in another extremely competitive game. And all these PLL games have been so neck and neck. It's really hard to get a grip on who's going to win each week. And that's what's been so exciting about this league. But the Archers are still consistent with their shots on goal and shots made percentage. Their saves are good. I love their defense. They just they just need to stomp on some throats. They get in positions where they're ahead and they don't have that killer instinct to stomp on throats, and they need to get that instinct to move up. That leads us to number 3, the Atlas, who beat the Archers. They have been fighting it out for that 3 and 4 spot all season long, except for 3 and 4 all season long. Cannons did show up there briefly at number 4 in week 2, excuse me. But yeah, it's been the Atlas and the Archers Club. If one of these teams can get hot and stay hot, they could make a jump for number 1, and they could be very competitive going into this playoffs. Loving the Atlas right now. Loving the Atlas right now. That leads to number 2, the Whip Snakes. Number 1, starting off the season, number 1 for a while, but I mean, you're gonna go toe to toe with the Redwoods and win by 1 point, bro. You can't be doing that. You guys are supposed to be the best of the best. 2-time champs, been to the playoffs as many times as the season's been around. Yeah, they gotta find it. They gotta find it. Their offense is not as aggressive as I want it to be. The team that is number 1, we'll get into it in a second, has a very aggressive offense. They do not take their foot off the gas. And the Whip Snakes, when I'm seeing them in the second and beginning of the third quarter, I'm just seeing a little bit of a drag. I don't know what it is. I'm not sure, but they need to play a full game. And until they play a full game, they're going to stay at number 2 and barely walk away with victories against teams like the Redwoods. That leads us to number 1, of course, the Chrome. From worst to best, the Chrome have figured out how to flip the switch this season, continuing to put up incredible performances left, right, and center. They have the best offense in the league, the best defense in the league, and honestly, at this point, probably the best coaching in the league. The amount of coaching, the amount of leadership it takes to go from worst to first is unbelievable. The boys bought into the program. The boys were here for it, and now they're playing lacrosse better than they've ever played before. They're putting balls in the back of the net in ways I never thought I could imagine. But hey, shout out to the Chrome being number 1, and that leads us to the week 5 power rankings. Chrome number 1, Whip Snakes number 2, Atlas number 3, Archers number 4, Cannons number 5, Redwoods number 6, Water Dogs number 7, and the Chaos number 8. They are really bad. They suck. They suck so bad. But hey, still a long season, still a lot of lacrosse to play. Next week will be from Minneapolis, Minnesota, starting on Friday, July the 1st. Great way to kick off 4th of July weekend. I will, of course, be covering all of my best bets and picks for week 5 of the PLL, coming out around this Saturday or Thursday. And if you want to stay in tune for that, want to hear everything degenerate, please like, share, and subscribe down below. Help us fight that YouTube algorithm. And also follow us on the Twitter, myself at Brofict1, the show at DGen Takes. And with that being said, Noah and I will be out with more videos this week covering a lot of stuff. We're hearing a lot about this Kyrie Irving news. Going to be keeping close tabs on that. But with that being said, I've been